On this week's FPL Happy Hour.
I think
Keep or
that's.
sell?
I think it's for me at the moment. Keep, but for someone else,
Ings.
that has to play Dennis next week up front, I'd maybe think about selling.
Okay, right. Hello and welcome to FPL Happy Hour, episode 14 of season 3, with myself, Sham, otherwise known as FPL 2 Guys 1 Cup on Twitter.
And myself, Rob, otherwise known as FPL Panda.
Rob, how are you?
Good. had a good weekend, very enjoyable Saturday afternoon. Watching, I think it was the most illegally streamed sporting event of all time.
Yeah, I heard that.
At 3 o'clock on Saturday. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Enjoy overall for FPL. Enjoyed the game week. It was reasonably good, above average. Nice rank rise. Everything is rosy in my world. Well, my fantasy world. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was all right. I think I was regretting, obviously on Thursday we had the chat about Bruno versus Ronaldo, and I laid the bold claim about Bruno outscoring Ronaldo, and come Saturday morning when I saw that one of the main reasons, and I was quite adamant about this, that I did not bring in Ronaldo was because of ownership, because at the time Bruno's ownership was 45%, Ronaldo's was 30%, I think it ended on, and I was like, it's not big enough of a gap for me to bring Ronaldo in. Like, it was 5-10% than I would have, and that was my main reason, because I had 2 free transfers, could have brought Ronaldo in, and then once the deadline had passed and I saw the effective ownership, I shat my pants because that Ronaldo's effective ownership around my rank was 120%. And Bruno's was 32 or 34 or something like that. And at that point, I was like, I've made a mistake here, based on the strategy that I'm going for. Because if I had known it was going to be anywhere near 50-50 or Ronaldo having more, there's no doubt in my mind that would have brought in Ronaldo. So, yeah, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I was very thankful for that Bruno goal.
I was messaging you during the game and you were just like, shit.
I'm fucked. Yeah, I'm fucked. And then at that point, it was like 8 points Bruno and 13 points Ronaldo. And then when the 4th goal went in, so I wasn't watching the game, I just got the alert. And at that point, I knew Greenwood had come off and Bruno had come off, which are 2 of my United players. And Ronaldo was still on the pitch. And I was thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, if he's gone and scored a hat-trick or got an assist, this has really fucked me really badly. Thankfully, he didn't. So, yeah, look, five points in it. I would have captained Ronaldo if I brought him in. So 10 points I lost, basically, by not bringing in Ronaldo. But that's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. I guess the next coming game weeks will tell me whether or not I made a catastrophic decision or not. So yeah, 64 points for me. I don't know if you want to bring up the teams and we can just talk about how we did whilst we're at it.
Well, let's go through your team then. Well, you've told everyone how many you scored.
Yeah, 64 points. A small rank drop from 10k to 20k, which in the grand scheme of things isn't too bad. I'll take that.
It could have been like if you suddenly like 50k or like closer to 100k, you'd be really disappointed, I think. But yeah, 20k is probably not too bad.
So yeah, it was 45k yesterday or 30k yesterday, and then obviously Alexander-Arnold and Salah performed, and then Jota. And I was disappointed that Jota didn't do more because his effective ownership was 50% within my kind of rank. So if he had got a return or whatever, I may have come out even in terms of same sort of rank. but I can't complain. I think I made the wrong moves. Forget about the Ronaldo thing. I think looking at my team going forward, I'm a bit worried, especially with Antonio, because next week I'm looking at going 4-5-1 with Dennis up top, like he being my only forward, and so
especially after he was Watford were quite underwhelming the weekend as well. And we did
and then
speak.
to add to that, he's gone down to 5.1 now.
Yeah,
I bought him at 5.2.
we did. Well, I mean, we spoke at length about him last week, in last week's episode, and yeah, how his stats were very good, but a lot of like his expected stats were very good, but a lot of his actual figures were all from game week 1, and we kind of needed him to back that up. And you took the dive into him. I think I talked you into Dennis over Ronaldo.
You did. You did.
And
I think
maybe
I'm going into. Yeah, sorry, go on, Rob.
I mean, you weren't expecting Antonio to get red carded. It was a silly red card, really. Like the first one, he's just been stupid and reacted to a challenge, hasn't he? And then the second one, he's just gone in. It's a proper striker's tackle. Like I don't know what his left leg just like. Dang, there's nothing in it. His left leg just goes so high off the ground, and he doesn't really he just catches the player. It's not malicious. It's not. But in the to the to the law of the game, it's a high challenge. But
did have you watched West Ham clips?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, so they play the Mark Henry music when Antonio does that tackle, and I just found it fucking hilarious. You need to watch it. You need to watch it.
I'll watch that when we've come off.
DCL hasn't. So we're recording before the Everton game. DCL is not in the squad, so that will help me depending on what the auto subs ends up being like. So I'll probably end the game week at about 25k. I'm guessing probably be around that. Depending on what happens, like if Dean performs and
Gray's gonna get a 25 pointer tonight, so
let's hope so.
I'll be flying up the rankings, and then I'll be ahead of you.
So yeah, look, if I can get to game week 7 with a rank of 30 to 40k, I'll be very pleased with that. Very pleased with that. I'm expecting to take a rank drop in the next couple of weeks. I don't mind that, as long as it's not too much damage. And then I'm going to my wild card, because there was a lot of wild cards played this week, and there was a good week to play a wild card, especially if you went Ronaldo and Lukaku up top. They ended up with like 80 points plus those teams that did that.
I didn't actually. I was supposed to work it out, like our wild card drafts that we did last week, how many points we would have scored. Maybe we can come back to that on the live stream on Thursday night. We can just have a quick look at what we would have scored with those wildcard teams.
Because
we both went for Ronaldo and Lukaku, didn't we? In those teams. So yeah, we would have probably got monster scores, because I think we both had Ronaldo, Lukaku, TAA, and Salah. We managed to squeeze them all in. So yeah, it'll be interesting, to say the least.
Go through your team.
How did I do? So I took a -4, but so finished on 66 points net. Well, I haven't finished yet. I've still got Damari Gray to play tonight. Sancho 6-pointer was really good. The whole of my defence all returned. TAA with his haul. Shaw got it. They conceded. Sloppy defending by United again. But he got his assist. First assist of the season for Luke Shaw. Soufal clean sheet. Traore did everything but get a return for Wolves. I mean, he could have easily scored a couple of times. Ben Rama, I think with Ben Rama, I think we've had that peak point from him, and it could be the sort of time
that's what
if
I'm
you don't have
thinking.
any other issues to maybe look somewhere else at a Traore or a Gray or something like that, just to free up a little bit of money. Salah return, which didn't do too much damage to me at my rank. And then Tony, Antonio blanks, Antonio red, and CR7 with his brace as my captain, which where I was at like 750k, his EO was only about 60%. So I'm currently sitting with a live rank of 501k with Damari Gray to score. I worked it out on a live FPL.net earlier. If Damari Gray gets a goal tonight, I'll be at 300k by the end of the game week. So fingers crossed that he can get something and moving in the right direction. I'm glad I took. If Damari Gray gets a return, then it's a positive result from the -4.
Yeah.
Because of the goal by Bruno, it kind of takes the gloss off it a little bit. But yeah, I think it was the right moves to make. It's just left me in a bit of a hole with Antonio there, but we'll be talking about that shortly, I believe.
So I've just worked out from my wildcard team, I would have scored 82 points with Gray to play. Fucking good score, isn't it?
Yeah.
Monster.
And we both had similar teams, didn't we? So I would have probably been around that as well. Although, didn't you had Jota? Who do I have instead of Jota?
I'm not sure.
I don't know who
No,
I
did I
had
have
instead
Jota?
of Jota.
Oh no, this is one of the sides I can't. We'll check it out for Thursday.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. Right, okay. So the agenda tonight is we are now going to be talking about a one-to-watch section. So players that we liked from game week 4, who we think will be good beyond game week 5 to look at. We're then going to be doing our 2 hot topics. The first of which was voted for by the Twitter public, which is problem players that we've identified that we think could potentially be problem players, and whether or not to keep or sell. And then our choice that we've chosen is the template. Is it time to get off the template? Who should we get off and who should we get on? And then we'll quickly talk about what we're planning to do in our own teams for game week 5, initial thoughts. Right, so let's go through the one to watch first. So I have picked Marcel. I really liked him this weekend. Wolves have got some good fixtures coming up. He got 2 assists, I think 13 points in the end. We've spoken about Wolves' fixture run numerous times, and a lot of people have been kind of earmarking their fixtures coming up. So from now till game week, is it 13? Let's just have a quick look. From now till game week 14, they only play one really strong side, you would say, and that's Everton, and they're not even that strong, I would say. They've got Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle, Villa, Leeds, Everton, Palace, West Ham, Norwich, Burnley. Fucking monster.
It is important to say that both of his assists at the weekend were fantasy assists. They were not official assists.
But to be honest with you, I wouldn't even be getting him in from I guess attacking returns point of view. It's more the price and the defensive side of things. Look good.
You're accessing that Wolves defense, which has looked impressive at the start of this season, and they've got the fixtures: Brentford at home, Southampton away, Newcastle at home, Villa away, Leeds away, and then they've got Everton at home in game week 10. But you've got 5 game weeks there where you'd start him, and then you'd even go Everton at home. Yeah, let's have a go at that. Then they got Palace away. Then it's West Ham at home, another tricky one. Then they got Norwich away, Burnley at home, and then it goes into Liverpool at home, City away. and then a couple of weeks later they play Chelsea at home. I mean, up until game week 14, 15, Wolves fixtures are perfect, and like you might be able to go, oh well, West Ham haven't got a striker at game week 12 because Antonio's jelly hamstrings have given in, and or he's made another stupid tackle, and and I mean like my thoughts as a United fan ahead of this week West Ham. I'm quite confident of United probably keeping a clean sheet without Antonio there, but it's another conversation that is. But yeah, Wolves. I think I mean for my Sky team, I've gone with Sarr in goal because of this long run of fixtures and his price.
Yeah, just one thing to add on there. So the reason why I've gone Marcel was because he's 4.5. Now, whilst from an actual point of view, Semedo hasn't performed. His underlying stats are massive at the moment, and he should have scored on the weekend. He had a really good chance to score, but he's 4.9, probably be 5 soon. So if you want someone definitely for like more of a I guess defensive player for attacking returns, I would look at Semedo. But if you're looking to save that 0.5, I think Marcel is a really, really good option. And I'm just trying to see if I can fit him in my side at the moment. The good thing is, so I've got a number of draft teams, and I brought in Marcel in 3 of my 4 draft teams this weekend, like as in just gone, because I could see Wolves' fixtures coming up, and I've done really well with the 13-pointer. So yeah, Marcel for me. What about you?
So I've gone with Brighton's last-minute hero from the weekend at Brentford, Leandro Trossard, who over the last couple of years he has those sort of hot streaks. I think there was a time last season weren't Brighton at home to West Brom or Fulham?
Newcastle, I think
Was
it
it
is.
Newcastle where he got the hat trick?
Oh, we got the hat trick. I don't know.
Was it a hat trick or he got 2 goals and an assist? He got a proper haul.
I think it's Newcastle where Az had captained him. Scout Az. Yeah, and he got a haul. Yeah, I think it might be Newcastle.
But a lot of people sort of had jumped on him at that time because he'd been on this little streak, and then the fixture turned up to go with him. And he really impressed me at the weekend. Obviously, didn't get to watch the whole game, but like highlights on Match of Day, highlights on Sky Sports. The way he links up with Morpie in that final third, he creates a lot, gets the ball into dangerous areas, and then he took his goal brilliantly at 6.4 million in midfield and with an ownership of 0.7%. This is like as differential as you can get, really. And Brighton's fixture, I mean, they've got Leicester at home, but then they've got Palace away, Arsenal at home. Arsenal, the last 2 times Arsenal have gone there, Brighton have given them a whooping. Then they've got Norwich away. So they've got 4 decent fixtures there, and then they've got a couple of tricky ones against City and Liverpool, but you could happily then bench him at that price. And then you've got Newcastle at home, Villa away, Leeds at home, West Ham away, Southampton away. And so, I mean, apart from that City and the Liverpool fixtures in game weeks 9 and 10, you've got over the next, say, 10 game weeks, some reasonable fixtures for Leandro Trossard. And I'd like it. Like, I think that they spoke a lot about on the TV about his consistency, but he does go through these hot patches. And if this is that goal was the sort of ignition to a little hot patch where he gets a few returns, then it could be the time to jump on him because maybe not this week, but that Palace fixture, even though I mean, Palace were impressive at the weekend, but Spurs, it was probably the worst performance I've seen from a Tottenham side for years. Like, and even like through all the Mourinho era, like it was worse than any of that. It was horrendous. So yeah, I'm fancying with the way that Brighton play, Leandro Trossard to get some returns.
Nice. So those are our two players, ones to watch. We've got some stats on screen as well for those that want to have a look at the stats. For Marcel, it was more for kind of the defensive output that I've said. But is there anything from the stats from either of those two players that jump out to you, Rob?
Generally, I mean, they're not incredible stats for either. I mean, Trossard does average 2.5 shots a game with just under a shot on target per game. I mean, yeah, Marcel's got taken 3 shots, but he has made 7 shot creating actions, and then there's the 1 goal creating action, which was one of the fantasy assists at the weekend. Leandro Trossard, on the other hand, 10 shot creating actions, but no goal creating actions. But then there was his goal at the weekend. So yeah, they're not emphatic numbers, but I think with these ones to watch, it's more of a feeling, and if we can back it up with some stats, then yeah, go for it. But for me, it was more of a feeling for Trossard, that like I said before, like he goes on these hot streaks, and if this is the start of a hot streak at 0.7% ownership, it might be worth a gamble, especially if you look at some of the other players at that price in midfield that you might want to come off of. We mentioned Ben Rama at the top of the show. Could be a little gamble just to come off him for a few weeks to then move on to Trossard.
Okay. Perfect. Right. Let's go on to our first hot topic then, and that is the community-led one that was voted, which was problem players. So we've identified from high ownership. So we didn't want to talk about kind of like low ownership players. 4 high ownership players that we think could potentially be problem players. So what I'm going to do quickly, Rob, is I'm going to name each player, and I want you to, just from a gut point of view, keep or sell. And then we're gonna after we've gone through all of them, like literally just keep or sell, we're gonna talk about it, see if we agree or disagree, and give our opinions. Again, we've got the stats on the screen for these, but this isn't really a stats based thing. This is more a kind of a feeling and why and fixtures, etc. There might be other mitigating circumstances. So, Antonio, keep or sell?
Depends. I think it's, for me at the moment, keep. But for someone else, that has to play Dennis next week up front, I'd maybe think about selling.
Okay, right. Danny Ings, keep or sell?
Sell.
Bruno Fernandez, keep or sell?
Keep. If you've still got him, keep.
Luke Shaw, keep or sell?
Sell.
Interesting. Right. Okay. Let's talk about Antonio. First one. What's your argument? Why are you personally keeping? Why do you think, for me, I should sell?
I mean, if we just go back onto my team, and I've got Ronaldo there, who's got the fixture against West Ham. I've got Tony, that's got the fixture against Wolves, who, although we've said we have said that they've defended impressively, Brentford have also played very well and very sort of attacking football, and I expect him to get chances. So I actually I wasn't expecting anything out of Antonio this week, and I can field an 11 with the team that I've got out there. So my team next week could be Sanchez, TAA, Shaw, Soufal, Gray, Traore, Salah, Benrahma, Tony, Ronaldo, and Veltman will come into the defence, or I gamble and bring in Gilmore against Watford and pray that he actually starts. I'll probably start with Gilmore on the pitch and have Veltman as my first bench. And I don't mind that, because I've still got returns there that I can see from my forwards. From your team,
Well, so let me just say quickly, similar situation to you, Rob, in the sense that so in my 4-5-1, where I've got Dennis starting up front, Tony's on my bench because actually I prefer Tony instead of Ayling. So I've got Ayling starting in a 4-5-1 against Newcastle, but that could easily be Tony for Ayling, 3-5-2, and Ayling as my first bench. So I don't think there's a problem.
I think I wouldn't play if I had the choice at the moment. I wouldn't play any Leeds defenders.
Even against Newcastle.
Llorente just got injured, and then their
that's
third
true.
choice centre half got sent off. Although I think the ban will get rescinded. I think they'll appeal, and the ban. I think it was horrendous what happened, but it was just unfortunate. It had the same vibe as Son on Andre Gomez.
Yeah,
a few years ago. So yeah, I'd keep an eye on that. I just don't fancy the Leeds defence with it'll be Cooper and a fourth choice.
Yeah. Okay. So what about Ayling as first sub?
Yeah, I don't mind that. I just
so then I don't need to take out Antonio then, do I? I'll have Dennis and Tony up top. And I was always planning on playing Dennis. I said that. I brought him in purposely to play him against.
He's got the. I mean, it's the best fixture possible for Watford, isn't it?
Yeah,
at
Norwich.
The end of the day.
So yeah, that for me, I don't think because the other reason is I built up value in Antonio, and then I'm going to want him against Leeds and Brentford. You know, after game week 6, it's only one game against City, and then you got Leeds, Brentford, Everton after that.
Spurs.
I don't mind that.
I'd fancy him to score against Spurs.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Right. Okay. Next player. So Danny Ings is a sell for you. He's also a sell for me. Why is he a sell for you?
I mean, the next fixtures, and we saw. I mean, to be honest, for most of the first half, Villa were very impressive last night, but a lot of the chances ended up with Watkins rather than Ings. But their next fixtures, they've got Everton, United, Spurs, Wolves, Arsenal, West Ham. They're not great fixtures at the end of the day. He'll pick up a couple of returns, but I think now is the time to come off him as an 8 million and then move on to another striker, like one of the strikers we spoke about last week. Maybe think about moving some money so that you can start targeting the bigger players, especially if you're still thinking like I'm still pondering whether I'm going to actually wildcard in game week 7 or 8, because I might try and hold off of it because of the moves that I made this week. I've got 2.5 million sitting in the bank that I can start distributing onto a couple of Chelsea assets, and then the aim then would be to have Ronaldo until game week 7 against Everton, and then come off Ronaldo and go into Lukaku in game week 8, or even come off Ronaldo after game week 6 and then into Lukaku in game week 7. By which point I might have brought in Mason Mount and maybe Reece James as well.
Okay, so Danny Ings is a sell because of fixtures, and I agree as well. There's nothing for me to add on that one. Right, Bruno Fernandez.
Right, with Bruno, I think, and we spoke about this before we came on air. I think that if you were going to move off of Bruno to go with Ronaldo, you had to do it before game week 4. I think now that you've settled with that's how you're keeping it, I don't think there's any value in moving off. And the way that United played yesterday, Ronaldo played very high. Bruno played in that 10 just off of him, and then dropped back. And I mean, he got his goal was brilliant. He will get returns. He'll score goals like he did the one on Saturday. He made a couple of opportunities for other players as well, so he is going to pick up assists along the way. I think we're going to see. We'll see more returns. So I'm still in the belief we'll see more points from Ronaldo, but I think with Bruno we're going to see better performances because there'll be times when he will be able to get a rest. Like a game like the one on Saturday, Bruno plays the whole 90 minutes. He played 85 minutes anyway. But there'll be opportunities where he gets rested a little bit more, and it'll bring out better performances because he'll be able to stay a bit fresher.
I think without 2 free transfers now, obviously I don't have any free transfer. I've got 1 transfer. It would take a -4 to get in Ronaldo. I don't necessarily think it's worth the -4 now to lose Bruno. And then if I didn't want to do a -4, I'd have to roll it, wait till game week 6 and then bring him in. But then I want to go on to Lukaku in game week 7. So it almost feels like there's no point. The time's gone now and I've just got to roll with it.
Yeah, it was that plum fixture against Newcastle that made it's a now or never kind of thing. And you kind of just have to, if you didn't do it, you got to suck it up. Lots of people made the move, but we actually went to Lukaku instead of Ronaldo, and they got the brace as well. So yeah, I think it's just a hold, and then reassess. If you're not wild carding in 7 or 8, then you reassess and then move Bruno out to then move that money into Lukaku.
Okay. Right. Last player is Luke Shaw. So you said sell, which is very interesting. Why is it sell? Because for me, he's a keep.
He's a sell at the moment because this is more of I'm very unsure still about United defensively, and this is because the holding midfield role. And the goal against Newcastle came from Matic having the turning circle of a great white elephant, and the speed of myself. I think I'm faster than him. I'm not sure about Matic. I'm not sure about Fred. If on Saturday I saw McTominay starting in holding midfield there, I might have a different opinion. I'm not too sure about Luke Shaw.
Sure.
Although he is gonna, I mean, the second goal where he got the assist, it was very much a Luke Shaw kind of assist, that driving run.
I think just quickly, I think we've got the name of our podcast. I'm not too sure about Shaw.
Not too sure about Shaw. This is something we can have a little look at his stats. He's had 13 shot creating actions at 3.3 per 90. It's actually quite good, and then 2 goal creating actions at 0.5 per 90. But his XA is only 0.7. It's not great. He hasn't impressed me so far, I think. And before the start of the season, I was kind of playing him down, and ended up having to go with him because of the ownership. I mean, he was at like 55%, wasn't he, for game week 1, because of his heroics in the Euros of England. I'm very wary, especially with Sancho playing down that left side. Because Sancho, I don't think there's that understanding there. Whereas when there was Rashford there, there's that understanding that the two of them have. So yeah, I'm not sure about him at the moment. And I think if you wanted to move off, there is the opportunity to. If you wanted to come off him to go to a Wolves defender to then free up a bit of, like, you could go from Shaw to Marcel for 1.5 million, and that could turn your Danny Ings into someone better that's got better fixtures.
So for me, I think he's a hold right now, just because United's next 3 fixtures are West Ham, Villa, and Everton. And Antonio's not playing for West Ham. I'm not sure where the goals come from. We are playing really attacking football, but Antonio is key to that. And I'm not really sure who's going to play next week instead of Antonio. I don't know if Vlasic plays or Bowen plays up top and Vlasic plays behind. I'm not really sure who we're going to start. So I can see United keeping a clean sheet. Villa, I can see a clean sheet there against United. A clean sheet for United there, and then Everton, I can also see a clean sheet. So I don't think.
Then against Newcastle, you would have said
you conceded. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing, but I can also see goals, and therefore, with Luke Shaw, he is an attack. I know he's only got 0.7 XA, but he is an attacking player. So I don't know. It just worries me, I think, as well, for me personally, because of his ownership is 44%. I'm concerned about taking him out, and it's not like you're going to bench him. It's not like people are going to be benching him. So his ownership is going to stay at around 44%.
Yeah, it's a case of if you need that money, to move into somewhere else. I mean, personally, I will be keeping him because I don't need that money. I'm going to be bolstering my defence, if anything, with some of that 2.6. But yeah, I'm just not sure about United keeping clean sheets. It'll be good. I think they play in Europe tomorrow against Young Boys, and it'll be good if I think Solskjaer will put out his best side again, because he needs to get that cohesion going. He wants Sancho to get some form and stuff, and it'll be good if Luke Shaw can be part of that and get some form himself. So yeah, it'll be and we'll probably lose to Young Boys now. I've said that, but yeah, it'll be. I think if we see a strong away performance from United in Europe, it would probably change my mind in a second, and would probably start seeing his ownership go up if he had an impressive performance.
Right, so I hope that helps. We picked up 4 players that could potentially be problem players and given our opinion as to whether or not you should keep or sell. Right, let's go on to our next hot topic, and that is the template and whether or not you should be looking at changing the template and coming off players and coming into different players. Okay, so we've got the template 11 on the screen now, and for the benefit of those on the audio, it is in order of the highest percentage. So this is like the top 10k, and I think it's good to talk about top 10k because it's kind of the players that are most active, and I think this is what a lot of people kind of use ownerships and stuff on. So Salah is first, followed by Ronaldo, Antonio, TAA, Benrahma, Shaw, Sanchez, Greenwood, Jota, Fernandez, and Duffy. That is kind of your
it's
template 11. Duffy.
All these names and Duffy.
Yeah. Which is interesting to see Duffy now. I was quite surprised, I'm not going to lie. So all these players have high ownership in the top 10k, and it's whether or not we should now start coming off these players or sticking in there. One of the reasons why I said, is it time to tear apart the template, is because on the weekend, we saw the likes of Ronaldo and Lukaku, who weren't originally in the template, and Lukaku it still is not, coming into the sides and scoring and doing well. We saw a lot of transfers in for Gray, the Wolves defenders, etc., that are coming up. They're not in this template 11. We know that Wolves have got really good run of fixtures. We know shortly Chelsea are going to have a good run of fixtures. And obviously we've got Ronaldo, who is in this template 11 as well. I guess the best place to start would be similar to what we did with the problem players and go keep or sell through this 11. So for you, Rob, Salah, keep or sell?
Keep.
Ronaldo, keep or sell?
Sell. Keep.
Keep. Antonio, keep or sell?
What did I say earlier? Keep.
Well, it said depending on the situation.
Depending on your situation, keep. Yeah, keep.
Yeah. TAA?
Keep.
Ben Rama?
Sell.
Shaw? Depending on your situation.
Depending on your situation.
Sanchez?
Keep.
Greenwood?
Sell.
Jota?
Sell.
Jota, sell. No,
I'd keep him. I'd keep him now. Yeah.
Fernandez.
Keep.
And Duffy.
Keep.
Okay, so I've got slightly different.
Out of these 11, I've gone with Ben Rama as a definite sell.
Yeah. So me personally, out of this 11, I'd be going maybe Ben Rama. Definitely not Greenwood. Well, I was surprised that you said sell Greenwood, because for me, he's not a problem right now. Like, I think you only sell him when he doesn't start in that 11. So I guess for what we're essentially saying is, from this template, stick with the template. Is that what we're saying?
No, I mean, I like other players. I think there'll be players that have higher ceilings at the price that Mason Greenwood is.
Okay.
Where I think that I could probably get more returns. A lot of the returns for United are going to be centered around Bruno, Ronaldo. Greenwood played very, very wide, and his assist, it was a fantasy assist. It was a shot that Woodman spilt out. And he didn't look very like he was going to be the creator at all during the game, because he's a different style of winger. Like, while Sancho on the other side was trying to get crosses in, he was like cutting back and crossing it, whilst Greenwood cuts back to try and get a shot off. So Greenwood's assist came from his shot being saved, but Sancho didn't get an assist. I'd rather have Sancho than I would Greenwood, but there's an extra 2.5 million involved in doing that move. I prefer other players right now to Mason Greenwood.
And then Ben Rama, you also would sell.
Yeah, they've got the United game, and they got Leeds. They've got the Brentford game in game week 7, but like, I wouldn't be, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't be starting him this week. Against Leeds, yeah, you'd start him. Brentford, yeah, but then they've got Everton, Spurs, Villa, Liverpool. There's some tricky, like it's a tricky run for West Ham, especially if they can't keep that momentum that you've got in the first few games.
I think the interesting thing is, from your side, you've got a few differentials. So you have the main templates, but then you've got Traore and Gray, haven't you? Yeah, so you've got a couple of differentials, whereas with me, I mean, this is pretty much my 11 apart from Ronaldo. I haven't got Ronaldo, and I don't have Duffy. Other than that, I mean, I've got 9 out of 11 of these players. And instead of Ronaldo, I've got Dennis. Whoop, whoop. And instead of Duffy, I've got Ben White or Ailing or one of them. So it's really interesting. I personally think I would be sticking with this template for now. I get what you're saying about Ben Rama. Maybe it's a bit of West Ham bias, but I like the way that he's been playing. Nobody had a good game against Southampton on the weekend. So I want to see what he plays like against United, and then against Leeds and Brentford, I think is worth holding. I disagree with you when it comes to Greenwood. I understand that he's not as good as a position when Ronaldo wasn't in that side in that number 9. But unless he starts not starting in that 11, I don't think he's worth taking out. So yeah, that's just my opinion on that.
I think with Greenwood, I think if you do wild card in 7 or 8, then he's not going to make it in.
Yeah, that I agree with.
Back into your wild card, is he?
Yeah, that
I mean, you'll be selling then, but then you'd be coming off all of United's assets then, because of those fixtures, that Leicester, Liverpool, Spurs, City period. But yeah, it's just, I think for a lot of them it's a case of hold, but there's some of them I wouldn't buy.
Yeah.
Like, Benrahma, Greenwood, I definitely wouldn't be buying right now. I'd be looking somewhere else with better fixtures and better potential. I mean, funny enough, like the ownership of City players is like so low at the moment. There's just no. I mean, is it because there's no trust in Pep and the Pep roulette?
Well, I think it's to do with that, but also fixtures. I think those that are going for wildcarding in 7 and 8, well, definitely for those in 8, they will be going on. So you got Burnley, Brighton, Palace, 8, 9, and 10. So I think people will be going on for those 3 fixtures.
Yeah, I mean, we should know exactly who the centre back partnership is by then. It's looked like it is going to be Laporte and Diaz as the 2, which it was for last season. It was just John Stones' form when Laporte got injured at Christmas. John Stones took his chance and he kept it. Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. Like, Ferran Torres, like he's playing in a side that City side. It is fixture proof. Like there are returns there for them. And I'm surprised. Yeah, someone like him isn't more highly owned because of his 7.2 million and playing as a number 9 for the champions, and he's a midfielder. It's ridiculous. It's the team that at the end of the season they will have scored the most goals. Them and United are the 2 highest scoring teams at the moment. So it interests me that there's no City coverage really throughout FPL.
Right. Anything else to add on the template, or is that it covered?
Yeah, not really. It's fairly boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
apart from Duffy at the bottom there.
Right. Okay.
Just a quick note, and because I didn't have time to do it myself. Thank you to Live FPL for the graphic, because I just stole it off the website. So yeah, give them a quick shout out. If anyone hasn't come across it, then definitely go and check out livefpl.net, where you can get all sorts of crazy stats about how your team lines up, etc. All you need is your team ID. It's brilliant tool. Ragabolly's done a great job there.
Nice one. Right, okay, so that is nearly it. Let's just quickly talk about first impressions for game week 5 now. What's your first initial thoughts in terms of any transfers / captain and captain for game week 5 for your team?
Captain will be Mo Salah. It's a no-brainer. I think he's going to be like 150% EO.
Yeah.
So yeah, Salah against Palace. I'll probably bench Antonio. I may do Benrahma to Varane. Now that I've just said that, I think I've just talked myself into that move in the last 5 minutes. Just as like a 1 week punt, because I don't fancy Benrahma to be getting anything against United, whilst City are at home to Southampton, and because there's very little City coverage out there, I think this could be a good opportunity just to jump in and to take one. And because I've got that 2.5 million in the bank, I could literally go with any City asset I want in the midfield apart from De Bruyne for Benrahma. So
Don't blame you there. It's a good move.
So yeah, I'll probably. I think I've just talked myself into doing Benrahma to Varane this week, barring any injuries. My only concern would be if Varane plays 90 in Europe. That would be my only concern. But I think they've got a comfortable game in Europe this week, so I think I haven't checked the Europe fixtures. I only looked at United ones. So yeah, that's my move for this week.
Mine is very simple. I'm more likely than not to roll, so I'm probably just going to roll and go with 2 for game week 6.
Dennis the Menace up front.
Dennis the Menace up front. I think you've talked me into ailing first bench, so I think I'm going to start with Tony and Dennis up front with Salah captain.
Yeah,
so yeah.
I mean, yeah, that Leeds defence. I mean, we saw them in game week 1 against United. They really struggled. That was without Calvin Phillips in the midfield, and Click had to play out in the midfield, and it's just, yeah, I think they suffered hugely yesterday with the Llorente injury, and a double whammy of that and the Struijk red. It's very much like Spurs, although I think with Spurs they've actually got 2 better centre halves to come in Romero and Sanchez. So yeah, it's a bit of a sort of a flag on Leeds defenders, I think, just for the time being. Yeah, it's a shame really. I dodged a bullet, I think, in my Sky team because I did have Llorente in my Sky team until the last moments. Otherwise, I'd have been in a world of hurt for that as well because I've got Antonio, I've got Webster, who got injured. So yeah, I'm still wondering what I'm going to do with that. So yeah, let's lay off Leeds for now. I mean, defensively they haven't been brilliant anyway, so it would have been nice to have seen them go a few weeks with a settled back 4, but it's gonna be another few weeks, I think, until that happens.
Right. Okay. Rob, have you got anything to say for the wrap up before I wrap?
What have we got? Quick mini league update. So the top 10 in the middle league, we'll just quickly run down that. So 10th got Finton, Hogan and Tom Glover joint 10th. Then we've got Scott. He hasn't got a surname, he's just called Scott. Then Gulaim, always get his name wrong, our French rep. Then Mort Martinson in 7th, Richard James Neal in 6th, Ryan Campbell in 5th, Richard Kirk in 4th, Martin Croft in 3rd, Gis Struijk in 2nd on 344 points, and 3 points ahead of him is Dara Cunningham, who tops the table at the moment. Do you know where you are in it?
No.
I think I broke into the top 100 in the mini league. For those that haven't joined yet, please do. You've got yourself 5 days to join it. The entries will close at the deadline to game week 5. The code is 1PQSLT, and the auto join link is at the bottom of the YouTube in the description and in the podcast description.
Nice. Well, let's wrap up. Anything else to add? That's it.
That's it.
Cool. Right. Thanks for tuning in. You can find us on Twitter at FPL_Happy Hour. We're also on a number of podcasts, including Spotify and iTunes, and our YouTube channel is FPL Happy Hour. Please like, subscribe, share, and all your retweets are appreciated. And we will be back on Thursday for our live stream. Take care. Until then, bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.